Hi there, welcome to Bad Advice. This is Addie Black, filling in for Morgan. This is a show where my dad and his two friends give advice for questions. This is my dad, Roy Black, David Tiesma, and Walt Riegler.
All right. Hey, welcome, Morgan. Thanks for coming back. Appreciate you being here again.
Yeah. No problem. It's Addie.
I
What?
thought you were a redhead.
Yeah, I think, what did you switch your hair, Morgan? Roy, did Morgan switch her hair? She looks different.
Morgan's hair is exactly the same as the last time.
Oh, it might be us. It might be just us, Walt. Okay. Sorry, Morgan. Sorry to interrupt. Sorry, Morgan. Keep going.
All right, it's Addie. This is Bad Advice, so we're gonna start with the first question. The first question, how do I lose weight and keep it off? Let's bring this to David. What do you think about this question?
Well, it's a good question. It's a tough question, and one of the things I like to do in my life is very, very honest and transparent. And I do want to add, though, before I continue on, is the camera adds pounds. We all know this, right? I'm skinnier in real life, but I have failed in this regard. I have not done a good job keeping the weight off, and well, I feel like we should prove it. I can show you. So,
No, that's okay.
What?
No, we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that.
Well, I was just. What?
We believe you. If that's okay, you don't have to show us.
Well, Morgan, are you body shaming me?
It's Addie, and I would never body shame you. No. We don't. We believe you.
Okay. I just need to. I don't know. I just feel. I don't know. I'm not sure. I feel this is a safe place. I don't.
Dave, Addie made a mistake there. She's gonna make up for it over the course of the episode, I'm sure.
Will there be punishment involved?
Probably.
Okay. All right. That's fair. I feel better about that. All right. All is forgiven.
My bad.
We already have her locked down in the basement, so.
Well, I can see why. Yeah, that makes sense. She doesn't even know her name. I mean, there's that. She keeps saying her name is Adeline or something. I don't know. I didn't quite catch it. Well, let me get my thoughts here. Okay, so when we're thinking about losing weight, this is a really important topic. It's a lot of, I believe, 140% of the American population tests as obese. I think that's the stat. Don't quote me on that. But the thing that you don't want to do, what?
Where'd you get that stat from? Just curious.
The internet. I think it was on Facebook, actually. A guy who's a friend of mine who knows a doctor, or I think he met a doctor once. I think the doctor told him that.
One of those Mimi things?
Yeah, the Mimis. Yeah. I have a friend named Mimi, but that's irrelevant right now. So to answer the question,
I think I know her.
What's that?
I think I know her. I've run into her before.
Yeah. I think we all know Mimi, and I really love the Mimis that they put on, and it's nice they named them after her.
I know Mimi.
So
she's fire.
Pretty impressive.
Fire?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
The important thing in weight loss is, I want you to remember this, is you don't want to think about food. You're trying to lose weight. You don't want to sit and think about food, right? It's really important. So you don't want to think about, for instance, let's say your favorite food is steak on the grill. You guys like steak on the grill?
Grilling tonight.
I love it. So don't think about getting that perfect cut of meat. And I'm not talking from like Meijer or Aldi. I'm talking the butcher shop, one that you've selected yourself with a little bit of marbling in it, just enough fat around the edges. And I don't want you to think about, because this isn't helpful if you're trying to lose weight. I don't want you to think about when you get that grill good and hot and you put that steak on the grill. And I don't want you to think about that sizzle that it makes and that first smell that wafts into the olfactory senses, arresting your complete attention. And I don't want you to think about how it chars just enough on those first couple minutes and how you flip it at just the right time. And then you take it off the grill and it's got a little bit of juice dripping from it. Don't think about that. Put it on the plate. And I don't want you to think about how you cut into it and how you see it's exactly the right color and tenderness of that fillet that you've chosen. And don't think about when you put it in your mouth and it almost melts because it's such a good quality cut of meat. I don't want you to.
Dave, I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Don't think about it. Guys, it's important not to. And I'll be right back. Hold on. I got to go get something.
All right, Dad, what do you think about this question? How do I lose weight and keep it off?
Well, thank you. And I appreciate the fact that people are coming to us for their weight loss advice. There's no better place where they can get weight loss advice than from the three of us. First thing I would suggest.
Cost you a dime.
Yes, didn't cut free. So I would say there's two different things that I do.
Every penny.
Yes. One thing that I have done that was worked for days at a time is to stock up only on food that you don't like to eat. So eating becomes kind of just a routine, chore-y kind of thing. It's not something you do for enjoyment. It's not something you do for the steak taste. Sorry, that's still in my mind. I'm still thinking. But, and the other method is wear less clothes, because clothes have weight to them. So, the fewer clothes you wear, the less you weigh. And that's great advice for people who are trying to lose weight. Those of you who are trying to lose weight, wear less clothes, really. I mean, we all want to see you working on making yourself a better person, and fewer clothes is how to do it. Although, Walt, maybe later.
Well, should we all take our shirts off?
No, let's not. Well, what do you think the answer to this question is?
Famine.
Famine.
Yep. Tell you what you should do. If you want to lose weight and keep it off, quit your job. And, well, actually, that right there will go a long way toward making this happen. Quit your job, sell your stuff, move to a country where they do not have much food. Right? Right?
Yeah.
Because it's not there. It's not tempting you.
Yeah.
No food. You will not overeat. That's what you have to do.
No money, no calories.
There you are. There you are.
That should be a bumper sticker.
No money, no calories. That right there.
That's a t-shirt, yo.
Okay.
That's yeet.
What you got there, Dave?
Oh, I got a sandwich. When I was answering my question, I got a little hungry, and I made a sandwich.
Thought you might
get the steak.
Yeah, steak was.
Well, I wanted a steak, but I don't have time because we're doing this show. I don't have time to grill a steak. We didn't have any, so.
Okay, we'll make it later.
That's my point right there.
Yeah, I know, right? So,
right.
But I want to. It's not very satisfying, but I just want to quote. Even though when I think of the steak, and I think of the sandwich and how this tastes, it's like eating my own sorrow. It tastes like sorrow. But to quote the famous president, probably my favorite president and yours, Franklin Pierce, it's better to eat sorrow than to die.
Wise man.
All right, then. With that, I think we'll move to the next question. The next question is, how do I make better decisions? I'll let Dad start with this one.
Okay. Well, again, what better place to come to for answers to your questions and how to make better decisions? There are many ways out there. By the way, before we get to the answer to the question, I've been quite impressed by the quality of questions we've gotten from people. with one exception, my cousin Colby down in Florida asked why you can't get Blue Moon ice cream down in Florida. That's not an advice question. You can look that up. And it's the answer to that is because we don't want Florida to ruin Blue Moon ice cream like it does everything else. So there's your answer to that, Colby. But how do I make better decisions? There are many ways that you can
So why you can't
figure out
get
how to
Vernors
make
down
decisions.
there?
What's that?
Also, why you can't get Vernors down there?
God help us if Florida ever gets their hand on burners. Let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, making decisions. There are many methods that you can use to make decisions. There's the pro-con method. There's the coin flip. My favorite happens to be the George Costanza method, where you just do the opposite of what you would normally do. There are many, 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 many ways out there for you to figure out how to make a decision. You just need to decide on which one.
All right. Do you have a personal favorite, Dad?
Oh, not really. Probably the wait and see method is a good one that I use on a lot of occasions, where I just kind of wait and see what happens until I have to make a decision. But that may or may not have good results for other people. Results may vary. So really, choose your own way to make a good decision.
All right.
I want to piggyback on that a little bit. Roy, I really think that's great advice. I think it's very wise. As I like to say, I put the pro in procrastinate. I mean, it's not amateur hour here. If you're going to do it right. But I think one little caveat to your George Costanza advice is sometimes you have to trick the universe, because the universe will start to catch on that you're doing the opposite of what you normally would want to do in your gut. And then sometimes you have to flip it back up to keep the universe guessing. So then you'll do the opposite of the opposite, which is kind of like your initial first instinct. And then you've got to sometimes just mix it up a little bit, or try a magic 8-ball. Just keep one with you all the time. You have a decision to make, shake that baby up, look at the answer, and just go by that.
I really like that.
Quite frankly, the universe is full of people who will give you advice if you just ask them. Take us, for example. People have written to us, asked us questions. Here we are. We're giving you free advice. You can do that same thing with just about anybody. Take any friend, your in-laws. They will be more than happy to give you advice. Go ahead, ask them. Just try. See what they say. And that's a way of making decisions.
Sometimes they'll give you the advice when you don't even ask for it. Just be around them.
That's true.
My grandma one time said, "Don't ask advice unless it's asked for." And I said, "I did not ask for that advice, lady." And then she never liked me. I know. I did not ask for that advice, but she gave it. I don't know. We didn't get along.
So, yeah.
We'll move it to the next question. Seems like you three have all answered that question pretty well, to the best of your ability.
I think you meant spectacularly. I think you meant to say yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Better.
Sure. Okay.
Or
The next, our last.
You know what? You can pay people to get advice, or you can get this for free.
Exactly.
And isn't that a good decision? Because you haven't wasted your money.
Exactly. Just some of your time.
With that, the next question is, how do I stick to a budget? Well, you could go ahead and start with this one.
Okay. All right. Credit cards. Credit cards have helped me stick to a budget for years. And that's a way that you can stick to the budget and still get what you want. Now, here's something that not a lot of people know, and that is that you can use a credit card to pay the balance on another credit card. And then you can use another credit card to pay off that balance, and then you can use that credit card to pay off the first one. And you know what you're doing all that time? Racking up points. Free airline miles. Right? right? And what's better than something that's free?
Oh, I love free. Especially
Pretty
if it's
good.
food.
And this is something that a lot of people know, and you have to be really, really, really good at it, or it could backfire on you. But it's even more effective. It's even more effective if you use credit cards that don't have your name on them.
Which is illegal.
Just blew my mind there, Walt.
I'm telling you.
Okay, well, people can try that at their own risk. Dad, do you have a different answer to this question? How do I stick to a budget?
Well,
A
I
more
figure the
legal-
best budget to stick to is one you don't have.
Mm.
Live hand to mouth. When you get some money, spend some money. You know, if you don't have money, don't spend money. It's pretty good advice if you ask me. It's worked somewhat for most of my financial situation. So I would say a budget is something that restricts you, and you really don't want that to restrict you. I think that goes back to the less clothes things too. The more restrictive your environment, the worse off you're going to be. So I would say budget schmudget. That would really be my short answer to that question.
Do you guys, and that makes me think, Roy, of, have you ever had underwear that was just too tight and you wore that all day and you just were so restricted? And then how did that make you feel?
Yeah, no, I've never had that happen, Dave. But what I
Okay.
have had happen is, wait a minute. What were we talking about in the first place?
I don't remember.
To a budget.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah, a budget. Dave, what do you think about budgets?
Well, I think there's two answers here. I like Walt's answer a lot, and I like your answer a lot, Roy. Of course, you guys doing a phenomenal job again, as always, on the show. And I think A is just sometimes you get a little behind. You can always consider selling an organ. There's a market for that, I hear. You've got 2 kidneys. You can live with part of your liver. You could just sell them, right? I mean, that fetches a pretty good price. And then if that doesn't work, because eventually you're going to run out of organs to sell, and then eventually what you can do is you can do Walt's theory from my first question, and that's move out of the country somewhere where they're having famine, and they'll never come after you there, and then you'll be fine and lose weight if you're fat. And then boom, you've just solved 2 problems at once.
That's magic.
What do you think, Morgan? What do you think, Morgan?
It's Addie. And that's one thing you could do. Yep. Anything else before we wrap it up?
Well, we've got plenty of questions, but I'm sure there's plenty of people in the 100 of viewers that we've had to this program that have other questions that they might want to ask. So we have set up an email address so that you can send your questions directly to us. That email address is badadviceforall@gmail.com. Now, so that we stay hip, the FOR is instead a numeral 4. So bad advice, numeral 4, all@gmail.com. Bad advice for all. All right. So if you want to send a question, don't be like my cousin Colby and send a Blue Moon ice cream question. Ask for actual advice.
Roy, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Did Colby suffer a head trauma or a head injury?
Not that I am
Or is it
aware of, but he
or is
has
it just
lived
being
in
in
Florida
Florida?
for some time now.
Oh. Yeah, that makes sense. We are not in Florida, by the
Same
way.
thing.
We're not in Florida.
No.
Right. So bad advice. We're full of it.
All right. Well, this has been Bad Advice. This is Addie Black. Hosting for Morgan again, this is my dad, Roy, David, and Walt. Have a good day, everybody.